right, so I got the courage to post my coming out story. Today's not coming out day or coming out week, or it's not gay pride or anything like that. But um, I just feel like sometimes, even though, yeah, I'm gay, but I don't feel like I have to come out to anybody because I always feel that my friends will accept me for who I am and what I do and what I do in life. So um, I've always had that mentality to think like, man, I don't, I'm actually, like thinking, why do I have to come out? I am who I am. But as I've been watching videos on YouTube and all the coming out stories, um, I figured, why not? Let me just go for it. Um, so, my name is Richard, and I live in San Antonio, Texas. I'm 53 years old, um, and I went to John F. Kennedy High School, home of the Mighty Rockets. Woo! Anyway, so I literally came out to my mom back in 1983. So I graduated in 82 and I decided to come out to my mom. And the main reason was because I felt bad every time she would ask me where was I going, and I always lied to her and I told her that I was going out with my friends, we're going to go to a party, or we were going, to somebody's house to hang out. But in actuality, I was going out to the bars with a couple of gay friends. And so, yeah, and I think that was the main reason why I wanted to come out to her, because I hated to lie to her. And that's my mom, my dear mom. So, um, one Saturday morning, I remember, well, actually, it was in the evening. She was in the kitchen eating, and she was cooking. Cooking, eating. The Mexicans, I'm not like stereotyping, but in the Mexican culture, I guess everybody does it. When you're cooking, you eat a little bit to taste it. So my mom was cooking, and I said, "Mom, can you come here?" She goes, "What? I'm cooking. I don't want the food to burn." And I'm like, "Mom, just come here. I gotta talk to you. Just put the food on low or something." And she goes, "Hi, okay, I'll be there in a minute." So my room was like right next to the kitchen because it was a garage first, and then my mom transformed it into a bedroom. So that was my bedroom. So I was really, really nervous. I mean, like I was so nervous to tell her, and I was just, I think I was 19 years old, and I remember she came to my room and I said, "Sit down right here on the bed because I have something very, very important to tell you." And she said, "Well, hurry up because I don't want the food to burn, and I gotta make dinner for everybody." I said, "All right, all right. It'll be fast. It'll be fast." Well, actually, um, I paced back and forth in my room, and I mean, I was young. I was only 19. I'm 53 right now, so Anyway, so I was walking back and forth, and I said, "I don't know how to tell you this. I mean, it's something that I've been wanting to tell you all my life, but I think I need to tell you now because it's that time." And I remember that I kept like making excuses to tell her, and I kept saying, "Well, I don't know how to tell you this. I mean, you're gonna hate me, and I don't want you to do what some of my friends' parents have done." And she said, "What? What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, some of my friends, their parents, when they've told them, they disowned them, they threw them out of the house, you know, they didn't want nothing to do with them, they were they were scared, and we would talk about these things. I said, and I don't want you to feel that way towards me. So I didn't know how to tell her, and I kept pacing, like I said, back and forth. And she goes, just tell me what it is. Ay, andale. And I said, but you promised me you're not gonna hate me, and you're not gonna, throw me out of the house, or and because I just don't know how to tell you this. And I was so scared, right? I was scared to tell her because um, I had heard a lot of stories from my friends. I said, well, remember every time that I would leave to go with my friends, and you would always ask me where was I going, and I would tell you I was going with my friends, go hang out, whatever. Well, it's not true. I was lying. I said, but you know me, like I don't lie to you much, but I said, I've known this for a long time, and I just don't know. I just didn't know how to tell you this. But promise me you're not going to be mad at me. You're not going to throw me out of the house. And yeah. So she said, well, hurry up, because I got to go cook. I got to finish cooking. I know. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. So it literally took me like 45 minutes to tell my mom. And finally I got the courage, and I said, okay, I'm gay. And then she said, what? Ay, niño. She said, I knew all along. Mothers know these things. They know everything about their kids. She said, how can I not love you? You're my kid, like. And I was like, well, my friends, everybody, my friends, my gay friends, their parents disowned them, and I thought you would too with me. And she said, how could I not love you? You're my blood. You're my mijo. You're Richie. And I said, I know, but it's not that easy just to tell you that. And she said, no, no. I love you, mijo. I love you. You're my son. How could I not love my son just because he's gay? And she said, you know that your uncle Johnny, he was gay all his life. She said, and I was there for him. Um, she said, I he would call me in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, beat up out on the street. Some boyfriend beat him up, or he was at the bar and somebody beat him up, and I was there for him. And she said, and if you ever need me at any time, any hour, you call me and I will be there for you too. Um, and so so we were there, and she said, "Hi, you scared me. I thought you were gonna tell me that you were into drugs, or sorry, you were selling drugs. You were like hooked on drugs or something." I said, "No, I don't do that. I mean, well, I did smoke one time when I was 18. Peer pressure." But she goes, I know. We already went through that. But you better not ever do drugs. I said, I won't. I won't. So after that, and then she started talking to me and asking me questions like, well, do you have a boyfriend? Or, you know, I won't mention a guy. One of the guys that I had a crush on. I won't mention his name because it won't be right. But there was a guy. She said, are you boyfriends with who you always go out with? And I said, no, mom, he's straight. He's very straight. I said, but I did like him. I do like him, but nah. Um, so, yeah, so and then she said, well, you know, I know that the gay lifestyle, you have to be very careful, and you better wear condoms and play safe. Play it safe out there because I mean I've learned quite a few things from your uncle. He's told me a lot of things about the gay world and stuff. So I said, no, mom, I do. I'm very careful. I mean, yeah. I mean, no, I don't do anything wrong or what have you. Anyway, so she says, okay, I gotta go back and finish cooking. I said, all right, thank you, mom. And we both hugged each other. We um we hugged each other, and it was a heartfelt hug. She hugged me really tight, and we both were crying, and um, it's really emotional, because it's your mom and it's my mom, and she's the only one that I really came out to when I was 19, and that was in 1983. So so that's my coming out story with my mom. Now my sister, my brother, my two brothers, I never like literally came out to them, but my mom told them. And then my dad, I just never came out to him, and then he passed away in 2011, and I just never told him. I think he knew, but um, so that's. But then, like as time went on, my mom told my sister, and my sister is like, "Oh, me and her are like sisters, and she supports me, she defends me. I mean, anybody that says anything to me, she's there and she's ready to kick their ass. Um, of course, I tell her no, don't do that. But yeah, she's one that defends me all the time, and I love her to pieces. She always says that she's my second mother, and which she will be and is. Um, yeah, she's the best. She's the best sister. And my two brothers, well, one of my brothers, he kept asking me, "Hey, when you gonna get married?" Or well, "Who's your girlfriend?" And all this, the usual, guy stuff. But that wasn't for me, and I just kept telling him, no, no girlfriend, no girlfriend. I don't, I'm not gonna get married, whatever. So then my sister, of course, she went and told my brothers, and so they kind of stopped talking about it, and they just accepted it. So, um, so that was the story of my family. Now, growing up, like I always tell everybody that you were born gay. I was born gay. You were born gay. She was born gay. They were born gay. Okay, we were all born gay. That's it. So let me start from. I'll tell you some stories as I was growing up. So as far as I can remember, was kindergarten. And I remember it's so funny because yesterday made or marked the last day, the last weekend, Saturday and Sunday, which is August the 6th. I have to look at my calendar. August 5th and 6th were the last 2 days that my kindergarten church, daycare, were having their last services. The church is closing down, and just because they can't keep it up anymore, and it was up for like 60 years or something like that. So, um, so yeah, I remember when I was in kindergarten, and my mom would be like the last parent to pick up me, and the last student. And I remember the teacher would be inside, working on catching up on paperwork and stuff, and I was sitting on the porch to the door. And I remember my mom had bought me this jacket. It was a corduroy, a dark brown corduroy, and it had the hood. It was a hoodie and the jacket. And I remember I would sit there on the porch, and I was probably like 5 years old, 4 years old. And I remember my jacket, I loved to wear it. But my mom says, but it wasn't even cold, and you were wearing the jacket. Well, I wore the jacket for a reason, but like I didn't know that I was, I was gay or what have you. But I remember I used to put the hood on and then bring the other part in front of me like I had long hair, and I would like stroke the jacket as my long hair. And I remember that. I really, really remember that. And then, my mom would pick me up, and then I'd throw the jacket back and just get in the car. That was like the story that I really, really remember. And then, in elementary school, I remember in third grade, I liked this little boy. His name was Jesse, and I'll never forget him. And I remember we went into the restroom. I mean, these are like personal stories, but it's my coming out story, so I'll just share them. So I remember going in the restroom, and he would go in the restroom too, and we would hug each other, and it felt good to hug a little boy. And then I remember the door would open, and we'd like all of a sudden just like he'd go that way and I'd go this way, and we'd leave, and we were third grade, we were young. So this is why I say that yes, I was born gay. It's not like something I wanted, I chose to be, or that that I decided to be gay in third grade. Come on, or in kindergarten. So no, I was born gay. Um, then growing up, that's continuing with elementary school. Then I went to junior high, and in junior high, I remember PE, of course. Hey, who doesn't? And I remember in PE there was this boy. His name was Captain. I don't. I mean, that's what his name was, Captain. And I remember he loved to play football. And I remember that, we were learning about defense and offense. And I was in the defense. He was in the offense. And I remember that, the coach would blow the whistle, and he'd say, "Okay, let's switch." The defense comes on now, offense out. And I hated football. Like I didn't want to play. So I told that little boy, I said, "Hey, you want to play my position?" And he says, "Yeah." He was all excited. So when they would call, blow the whistle, and we would switch, he would go in for me, and I'd stay out. So I never played. So we were like the best friends. But I mean, I didn't like him as a boyfriend. I remember that story that he was all excited, and you can play for me, and I can get out, and I don't have to play. But I also remember the locker room, and nah, you know, the locker room. I remember when the boys would take showers, and I would hate to take a shower. So I would be in the locker room, and I would be changing, and they say, "Okay, don't forget to take a shower. Y'all need to take a shower or whatever." The coach telling you. So I remember taking my time, getting dressed, and everybody was taking a shower. And then I remember I would walk by the showers, and I would just happen to look inside, and I'd be like, "Wow." And I remember this one guy named Johnny Griego. I don't care, I'm going to say his name. But Johnny Griego, I mean, he had a package. I mean, and it hung low. And I was every day. I had to make sure that when Johnny was going in the shower, I'd make sure I'd go by there and check him out. I mean, he had them low and they hung. I'll never forget him. And then there was this other guy named Joe, and Joe David, and he also, I don't know, they were friends, but they were, anyway, that was fun. I remember junior high. And then my Coach Garza, he was cute, and I had a crush on him, but I mean, I just could have a crush. I couldn't do anything, so I really enjoyed PE. And let's see, I have my little notes here because I won't remember everything to record here. So then, when I went to high school, um, and so like I said, this is my coming out story, and everybody in San Antonio, Texas, whoever sees this, oh well, now you know. Um, but anyway, in high school, I had a lot of crushes, of course, and but I never had a boyfriend in high school. Like to say I had a boyfriend, um, but yeah, maybe I won't put the names out there, but um, I do remember when it was prom time, or dances. Well, mainly prom, and this I had two girls fighting over me, and so I'm gonna put their names out there because why not? So there was Cindy Acuna and there was Elaine Martinez, and they were always fighting over me. I mean, it was fun, for me, but at the same time it was scary. So I remember Cindy invited me to her senior prom. I was a junior. She invited me to her prom, and I was all excited. Um, that day, I remember me and my brother, we were going, like, he was driving, so me and no, wait, was it? He was driving. Yeah, I think he was driving. And I remember we were both getting ready in the room, in our bedroom, and my mom walks in. This is like a little sad story, but my mom walks in the room and she goes, "I have bad news." And we were all like, "What could be the bad news? We're going to the prom." And then she says, "Your grandfather just passed away." And we were like, what? Like, I guess we're not going to the prom. And then she goes, "No, no, no, y'all are still gonna go to the prom because, I mean, let's face it, everybody's gonna be at grandma's house crying and just being sad. This is your prom and y'all need to go." So my mom made the best decision, and as an adult, she did great. So we went to the prom, and I remember my date, Cindy. Um, you know, I remember that I don't know why, but my brother apparently dropped her off at home, and I was supposed to give her that kiss. And I remember that I was so nervous, like I didn't want to kiss her, because I didn't want to kiss her. That's just I didn't like girls, but I had to pretend, that I was straight. And so I remember walking her to the door, and I was so nervous, and I remember said, "Okay, Cindy, well, thank you for inviting me." And honest to God, I don't even remember kissing her. I might have kissed her, or she kissed me, or I don't know. I don't remember really. So that was that. That was my prom date, and we had fun at the prom. It was fun. Okay, so then I'm all like squeezing my hands because I'm all nervous. So then, my senior prom, I did go with my one of my good friends. Her name was Marty. She passed away, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. But I took her on our prom date, and it was beautiful. And I remember I gave her a little kiss on the cheek or something. I don't remember, but and she was okay with it. She understood. Um, so Okay, so that was high school. Of course, like I said, I had a lot of crushes, but couldn't do anything about it. Um, and when you're in band in high school at Kennedy, they at that time we didn't have to take PE, but we were in band all 4 years. I was in band all 4 years, and it was fun. And anyway, yeah, I blew a lot of horns. No, I didn't. Never, never, never. Okay, so anyway, so after graduation, I remember I was living with a friend of mine, and it was two girls that they were lovers. So yeah, so back in the 80s, we called partners lovers. So I remember we had a party, and my best friend Felix came to the party, and we were drinking, we were playing games, beer games and stuff. And I remember that we were drunk. I was drunk, he was drunk, and it was the perfect opportunity to tell him that I was gay. And I didn't know how to tell him, but we were sitting there and we were drinking, and I said, "Okay, we need to stop playing this game. I need to tell you something very important." And again, I didn't know how to tell him because he was my best friend. I mean, we did a lot together. And um, yeah, I remember I told him one time. I said, well, no, actually, okay, wait, let me tell you the story first, and then I'll tell you this other part. So we were sitting there and we're drinking. I said, "All right, I gotta tell you something, Felix. And I mean, if you don't want to talk to me ever again, I mean, I'll understand, but I gotta tell you this because I just have to. You're my best friend, and I hope that you don't hate me, or you don't stop talking to me or hanging out, and we're still this, same best friends. So I told him, I said, well, um, I just want to tell you that I'm gay. I like guys. And he said, what? Oh man, when he said that, I was like, I know I shouldn't have told him. But no, he just said, what? You took this long to tell me? Richard, you're my friend. You're my best friend. You're my buddy, my compadre. Well, I had baptized his daughter, and so you're my compadre. Hey, you're still my best friend, and I can't tell you no, or you can't. We're not gonna hang out. We're still gonna go fishing and hunting, and it don't change anything. I said, really? Like what? I was like, all right. So that was my best friend. He accepted me, and I was like happy because I didn't think it was gonna go that way. But no, he did. He accepted, and still to this day, 2017, we're still best of friends. Well, he's my best straight friend, and then I have a straight gay best friend. So anyway, so I remember there's another story that I want to share with you, that me and Felix had gone out. Felix, he's straight. He loves women, and he wanted to meet some girls. And hey, Rich, do you know any girls? I'm single. Hey, I want to hook up. And I said, well, I mean, I kind of do know somebody who might, you might get along with or whatever. So I called a friend of mine. I won't say her name because it's not right, out of respect. And I said, yeah, I'll call this friend of mine, and we can go shoot pool, and I'll get you the hookup. Anyway, so we went to Bananas. It's a pool hall on San Pedro, and so we were shooting pool. Well, I invited my friend, and she was there, and yeah, she was kind of like a loose girl, and so she was drinking and drinking, and she liked Felix, Felix liked her, and they were all flirting, whatever. And I remember she said, "Oh, well, can you give me a ride home?" Well, of course, we picked her up. So we gave her a ride home, and then she goes, "Ah," she was like all over Felix and this and that, and she couldn't walk. So Felix started walking her to the door, and then like he went inside, and he was inside for quite a while. So finally, I went inside. I said, "Hey, are we leaving?" And then I remember. He said, "No, Rich, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna stay overnight if you don't mind." I said, "No, I don't mind." So she like literally put uh, blankets and pillows on the floor in the living room, and I remember through the night. It was Felix, her, and then me laying on the floor, right? And she was just like drunk and rolling all over the place, and oh, and I remember before we went to bed, we were playing strip poker, and of course she was losing, because she wanted to take everything off, and me, I was like doing one sock, one other sock, my belt. Anyway, so I remember it was time to go to bed, of course, because they went to the floor, and they're already like in the bed, all rolling around. And so I didn't want to stay up by myself, so I said, well, I might as well go to bed. So I went to the living room, I laid there, and I was just all like straight, laying on there on my back. And then all of a sudden, like, I feel like somebody rolling towards me, like what the hell. Anyway, and so that girl like rolled on top of me, and I was like, hell no, and I threw her off of me. I threw her off of me, and she goes, ah, she screamed. And she goes, Richard, why did you do that? I said, oh, I'm sorry, I must have been dreaming or something, and I thought somebody was on me, and I didn't know what was on me, and I made the excuse. And it was so funny because the next morning I told Felix about it, and he started laughing, and He was like, "Oh, Richard, you know." I said, "I know, but you know me, I don't like girls, so I didn't want her on me." It was like, oh, you know. Anyway, so that was a story. Then a few years later, I remember there was this one girl that I met by a friend or something, and I remember, so I was wearing my class ring that night that I met her. We were with friends, I think, and she was giving me a ride home. And I remember she said, "Hey, let's go to let's go to a motel room or something." And I'm like, "Why? Why do you want to go to a motel room?" She goes, "Yeah, let's go. Come on, let's hang out." And I couldn't I didn't want to, right? But I was supposed to be straight, so I went with her, And I remember we were in the bed, and she was getting like touchy feely on me, and I was like, "I'm trying to go to sleep. Leave me alone." And anyway, so um, I think what she really wanted was to steal my wallet or my ring or my watch or something. Because the next day when I got home, and she dropped me off at home, and the next day, like, I didn't have my ring. Like, I totally forgot. I think I was still buzzing or something. And I didn't have my senior ring. And I remember calling her. I said, "Hey, I think I left my senior ring in your car." Well, apparently she had taken it and she stole it. But eventually I got it back. And she made a story that she found it in her car and it was on the under the seat. And I'm like, I had it on. Anyway, but I got it back. Um, so, um, so that was like when I was in my 20s, 30s. But, so as I was getting older, I was meeting a guy here, meeting a guy there, and um, so, I mean, really, that's it. I mean, yeah, I really haven't had many boyfriends or um, I dated here and there, but not really a big boyfriend or whatever, long time, whatever. But I will say that in 1999 and 2000, I did meet a guy. I'll tell you that story, and well, I guess that's it, really. But I met a guy named Danny Rodriguez, um, and so I went out with this friend of mine named Janina Lopez, and we went out to the Silver Dollar on North Main. And I remember we were dancing all this, and I see this guy, and I mean, he was hot. I mean, he was cute. Um, he was hairy, and he had hairy arms, and he had hairy legs, and anyway, so I remember he was out. He was drinking a beer, by the bar, and I told my friend Janina, I said, "God, that guy's so hot," and she goes, "Well, go talk to him," and I was like, "No, he won't want to talk to me, like me." So she goes, "You know what? I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna buy him a drink and tell him it's from you." I was like, "What the?" I said, all right, yeah, go, 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 tell him, go tell him." So sure enough, she went up to him and she gave him a beer, and she looked towards us and she said, "He gave it to you. He bought it for you." And then here comes Danny walking towards me, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's gonna talk to me." Well, from that day, we became boyfriends. I mean, like I'm saying, like we dated and all this and all that, and then we ended up being boyfriends. And he was my boyfriend for like 2.5 years. We had a great time. I was in love with him. He was my everything. I mean, if he said let's go, I was like, okay, let's go. It's time to go. I never like argued with him on anything like that. And yeah, he was my boyfriend, and I really enjoyed him. Hanging out and being with him and all that. Until I went out of town, and when I came back, he had a few hickeys on his neck, and he denied it, and he said they weren't hickeys, that they were pinches. But I didn't believe it because they were like chupones. Come on, you got chupones, they're not gonna go away. Anyway, so I ended up breaking up with him, and yeah, he was like my one and only. And so now I'm single. I mean, well, like for many years I've been single because I just can't trust out. I can't trust guys. But well, maybe one day I'll meet a guy and before I die. I know, sad story, right? But anyway, so that's my coming out story to my mom and to my family. And now that I'm here on YouTube, the world knows that I'm gay. But that's okay. Being gay is okay. And just remember, to those of you who haven't come out yet and are my age or older or younger or what have you, um, just come out. I mean, you don't. It doesn't have to be coming out day or coming out month or Pride Month or what have you. Just whenever you feel like coming out, just come out and just say that you're gay, and it's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being gay, or there's nothing wrong with you loving another man, or if you're a woman, you love another woman, or a girl and a girl, or what have you, or you're queer, you don't know what you are, or you know, just know that you mean something to somebody, and and don't don't hold back. Um, just know that you're worth something, and that you're here in this world to share something that you own, that that you're good at. Um, you're somebody. I hope this video helps anybody who hasn't come out yet. Um, and if you're not ready, it's okay. Don't post a video. Um, as it is, I was scared to do this video, but I ain't getting any younger, and why not? We can record anything we want and post it out there, and I think I'm proud. I'm proud to say that I'm gay, and I am who I am. And if you don't like it, anybody sees this video and you don't like it, it's okay too. You don't have to like my video, but if you do like it, thank you very much for watching, and I hope it helps you a little bit. Um, and if you want to come out to your parents, take your time, and do like me, write little notes and things, because it helps, Um, and if your parents don't accept you, it's okay to give them time, because they might not be educated in the and people being gay or lesbian or what have you, and but give them time, and just sit down and talk to them. Um, and if you need my help for any other advice, um, just I'll leave my email, and you can email me, and I can help you in however way I can. All right, I'll say goodbye because I'm pretty sure this video is too long by now. But anyway, I had fun telling you my side of my stories and stuff, and I hope that you also enjoy it. All right, bye.